Hey everyone, my name is Monroe here with Bhavya in Jersey and Shemaine in Nigeria. Is that right?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. I'm confusing them. And I'm in New York with break diving. Today we're having our book club event. Today we're talking about The Miracle Morning by Hal Enrod. It's a book that was inspired by his his almost near death collision when he was 20, and then about 10 years later, or 6 or 7 years later, I'm not sure exactly when, had difficulty with the 2008, I guess 2008 financial crisis, where he got into deep debt and his businesses failed and all that. And he ended up coming up with something about how the way you start your morning is the key to success. And full disclosure, none of us here has read the entire book. We've read each about 2 chapters. So we're only going to talk about the first 2 chapters really today. And we'll have another event next time talking about the rest of the book. And so what we all gain from this is that, and we don't know what his prescription is yet for what we should be doing in the morning, but he discusses that everything is determined by what you do in your morning routine. What do you do from the moment you wake up in those first, I guess, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. So I was thinking, guys, what we could talk about is, without having even read what he thinks we should do, maybe what we can do is share what we do currently in the morning, and maybe what are some things just off the top of our heads that we would potentially like to do differently that we think would make us more successful. Does that sound good, Shemaine?
Yes.
Okay, Bhavya? I don't know if she's still there. She turned off her camera.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I heard. I think. I'll be back in 1 minute. Sorry, I had to.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So we all know, Shemaine, that waking up in the morning, the morning sets the day. And if you're depressed as soon as you wake up, or if you're anxious or whatnot, then obviously that's going to have ripple effects for the rest of your day. So let me think, what are some of the things I do in the morning? I usually try to get 7 hours sleep. I snooze too much. I use the snooze alarm. It's been a bad habit of mine forever, and I'd like to get over it, but it's so painful to wake up in the morning. I don't like getting up. So I know I could probably figure out how to get out of bed in the morning immediately as soon as the alarm goes off. Another thing that I do is I spend too much time, I think, looking at my phone with news lately, and I go back and forth. I know it's a bad habit, and I try to use the screen time restrictions, and I try to remind myself, don't look at the news for the first hour of the day, and I always go back to my old habits. And so I just know that I think some of the things that I think that would make me more successful and more productive and in better moods is get out of bed as soon as the alarm goes off. Do not look at the phone first thing. I sometimes I'll do that. I'll just get up and read for 20 minutes before I start looking at emails or the news. But I always get antsy, and I'm thinking, what am I missing on the emails? What am I missing on the news? What am I missing on break diving? Things like that. But I think those are 3 things that I could do. I'm wondering, I think this guy Hal might be recommending the first thing we do in the morning is some type of exercise. How far did you read, by the way? Chapter 1, or did you also read chapter 2?
I actually listened to the audio of the book, so
Okay.
I'm not quite sure.
All right, well, why don't we talk about what do you do every morning, and what are some things that you think you might want to change to improve?
Okay, I just wake up and and go for exercises.
So the first thing you do every morning is you do exercise?
Yes, I exercise. I go for a jog in the morning.
So is that the first thing you do? Like, do you get up and immediately jump out of bed and put on your shoes and and you don't even use the toilet or brush your teeth, you just start running?
No. No.
I'm picturing Shemaine with the alarm. She goes to sleep in her shorts and shirt and her sneakers. The alarm goes on, she just jumps out of bed and she just starts running. That's not it.
Yeah.
So what's precisely what do you say you do in the morning before you start running?
I'm sorry what I missed. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Shemaine, go ahead.
Okay. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, then I put my exercising clothes on and I go for a jog.
Okay, so would you say within 5 minutes of you waking up, you're outside running?
No, maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So you brush your teeth for a very long time. Now, do you do this every day, 7 days a week?
Except for Sunday.
And do you find that doing this every day, does it help your day?
Yes, sometimes. Then sometimes.
Okay, great. So Bobby, Shemaine and I just went over what we do in the morning. I am the example of the bad habits. I wake up, I use the snooze alarm too much. Then I look at my phone and get depressed by the news of the day. And read emails that probably don't need to be handled right at that moment. And yeah, and I think I just waste a lot of my time in the morning lately. And Shemaine apparently just gets to work. I was saying Shemaine goes to bed with her sneakers on, the alarm goes off, she wakes up and she just runs out the door. So what about you? Are you somewhere in the middle between me and Shemaine?
Yes. Yes. Mine is like I don't snooze off. Yeah. Mobile. I wake up before the alarm. My alarm is 4 a.m. I would be awake before that. And one habit, like first, I'll check break diving Slack. I will think, and sometimes it depends on some of the interesting topics, but not much. 5 minutes maximum, and then I up, and sometimes I do exercise or else just start reading. Especially, I think it depends. It changes what I read. Also, like now I'm very much JavaScript. What one course I'm doing on Udemy, it's like kind of target now. It's like I want to finish that one in 1 month or 2 months max.
What happened to Wes Boss?
Even I'll do with that one as well.
Okay.
But,
don't you abandon Wes.
No, I'm not going to
You'd
abandon.
be very sad.
It would be easier. Like it's like this is course what I'm doing. It's like easy for me. It's like easier to follow, and I feel like if I do this one, Westboss is going to be easier for me. Next step, it's like easily it will go. So like that. Yeah, from six like from 4, 6, 7 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be studying or either exercise. It depends. Like, yeah, I don't be sometimes.
Do you wake up before the alarm goes off?
Yeah, I do.
When I was younger, I remember I used to set my alarm, and all I had to do, if I set it for 8 o'clock, all I had to think in my mind, wake up at 7:30. And I would. And now I don't know what happened as I got older. It's weird. So anyone watching has 3 different examples of people here. Me, who's become Mr. Lazy in the morning. but I get an incredible amount done during the day and at night and late into the hours around 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So I do make up for it. It's not that I'm a sloth and lazy. It's just that I don't enjoy morning. I honestly think it's because of the military.
Mhm.
Basic training, and for 9 weeks getting woken up at 3, 4 in the morning and then having to march and being yelled at, like it triggered something that it's conditioned me like a Pavlov dog to whereas like an alarm going off is like the equivalent of a drill sergeant yelling at me, get out of bed, get out, you maggot. And I just want to go, no, no. But I'm curious to see if maybe as we continue reading this book, maybe we'll learn some strategies to be even more productive in the morning. I know that I would gain an extra hour a day or 30 minutes a day if I didn't use the snooze alarm and if I didn't read the news
Mhm.
and check email immediately when I got out of bed. And so I'm sure what the book is going to end up talking about is, because he likes running,
Right.
I think he's going to recommend that we
He did not like
exercise.
initially, right? He was not a sports person then.
Yeah. I can understand how, and I'm actually happy to hear that Shanae does it every day, because I think it could if you get up and within those first 10 minutes, you go out and do some physical exercise, really where your heart is pumping, like running or riding a bike. Riding a bike really hard could have the same effect, or doing a fast walk, whatever it may be. I think that could really just get the blood going and set you up for a very good day. What about you, Bob? Do you do exercise in the morning?
I do like yoga usually. I like doing, like, I believe that, and it's what do you say in our most, it's like 4 a.m. It's like a very, I don't know exactly, uh, mm, there is some energy. That's what we believe. That's why most of the things, like, I got early wake. My dad does, like, he wakes up very early. Maybe that's why I like to doing that one. So I like to do meditation in the morning, but still I'm not reached that level. It's not easy, but I like to do yoga. But sometimes I do. Sometimes it's like most of the time my reading takes us like, yeah, I have to do this one. So I let me finish, then go for exercise. Goes like that. But I want to do first meditation, yoga, then continue do the reading. That's my schedule. I want to set. Yeah.
Yeah, meditation, I'm sure, or yoga could have maybe the same type of similar effect. Shemaine, is there anything about your morning routine that you want to change that you think could make your life better?
So when I was listening to your audio, I heard about meditation in the morning, like silence. So I think maybe if I wake up and I just meditate for about 5 minutes or so, I think it will be nice.
That could work. That could work. You know, I'm thinking, you know, those beds where they're like this, but then you press a button and they go. "Rrrr." So there's the bed that I'm saving up for, the mattress. The expensive part is the mattress, but for an extra few $100, you can get the base that has a little controller where you can make it go up like this. And I was thinking that would make it much easier to wake up if when the alarm goes off and then all you just reach over and press the button and you go, and it kind of forces you to be sitting up rather than what I wish they would do is if there were an actual timer on it. So at 7:30, it just automatically goes like this. The whole bed. If I was sitting here and the bed just goes, and if you're not awake, you'll just plummet to the floor. But the quote that we were talking about, let me just go back to our chat room. Is the fact that we were saying, what was the first thing that I had mentioned? know that wherever you are in your life right now is both temporary and exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's always something that's very useful for us to remember, because no matter what trouble we're going through in life, it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to be going through that trouble right now. It's going to lead us to becoming stronger, or learning a lesson, or introducing us to people or ideas that we otherwise wouldn't have been receptive to or wouldn't have met. Charmaine, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
I shouldn't have asked a yes or no question, because you like to answer yes or no questions, Charmaine. I want you to explain. Do you believe that where you are in your life right now is temporary? Excuse me, I just asked another yes or no question. Explain how. What does that mean to you? That where you are right now in Zimbabwe is both temporary and where you're supposed to be.
Um,
Oh, she likes the yes or no questions a lot more. If you said that you agree with it, right?
yes.
So why do you agree with it? Why? Let's start with the first part. Why is right where you are in your life right now just temporary? Why do you believe that?
Because I have the choice to either choose to work hard to improve myself, or just to remain there and not do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you're not lazy, wherever you are right now is temporary. No matter what we're going through with our companies, our lives, our health, whatever it may be, it's temporary. Either we do something about it, or be lazy and nothing will change. So it's not automatically temporary. I think that's a key point to remember. You can't just sit around and wait and hope that next year is going to be better. No, you need to start planting seeds today. And maybe in the springtime, some of those trees will grow. And you know what's fascinating? An interesting story that I don't know where I read this thing about planting seeds. I forget what book it was, years ago. But the idea is, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what trouble you're going through, no matter how much you don't want to, plant a new seed every day. And what that means is, because you don't know when the next time you're having difficulty, one of those seeds might magically start to grow. And an example that just happened today is, I've been on this site Wisant for many years. It's a tutoring site, and or a place where it's kind of like, what do you call it, Upwork, something like that, but it's specifically for things that you can teach other people. So I've taught people math, science, public speaking, law, studying for the bar exam, whatever. And it's almost like clockwork. Out of the blue, people just find me on there when I could really use an extra few $100 and say, hey, are you available? And I was just thinking today, oh, you know what? I could really use a few $100. And today, this guy just got in touch. I haven't heard anything on that site in maybe 2 months, 3 months. Said, hey, are you available tomorrow to help me with studying for my contracts exam for law school and stuff like that? And it's quick and easy money, this and that, but it's a seed that I planted back in 2015. And then I've been continually planting as I gather more stars and credits on the site. And always I think, you know what, that site is gone. I'm never going to make any money from it again. It's dried up. And then boink, a magic seed just grew today from that. And it reminded me about that thing about keep planting seeds. And so no matter, there's no day that's wasted as long as you planted a seed. Maybe you made no money today. Maybe you feel horrible. But if you plant a seed, it could lead to something down the road. And it might be next week. It might be 10 years from now. And so that based on the fact that you said, Shemaine, and I'm glad you brought it, you made it very clear that today is not temporary just because. Today is temporary, the day, but our situation, it will be permanent if we don't plant seeds, act every single day. And I'm wondering if I know that you guys know that I'm working on this novel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, as I continue reading the book, I think I want to make as part of my morning routine, I got to get up 30 minutes earlier and whatever, and write 500 words every morning until the book is done. And if I make that part of and it could be a whole bunch of things. It could be write 500 words, write, or do 30 minutes of coding study.
Yeah.
Do my language study and this and that. If I can get all of that done in the first hour and a half or 2 hours and try to get up even earlier than I usually do and maybe throw in a bike ride, that's one reason why it might be nice to move to a warmer climate. It's starting to get cold out here in the Northeast. I went for a bike ride the other day and my hands were freezing. Whenever I exercise cardiovascularly in the cold, I think I told you this, Bobby, right? I end up getting a little bit of a cough for 2 days.
Yes.
And then it disappears. So,
Mm-hmm.
so those are three things that I think I'd like to add to my morning: is physical exercise,
Mm-hmm.
Language and coding study,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say 4 things: reading in my books, because I still have so many books and I want to spend more time reading them. And 4 would be doing my 500 words in my chapter. The other thing that could be too is I have this, just answer.
Yeah.
If I just made a commitment to do 3 or 4 of them every day in the morning, boom, just get them done. Then the rest of the day is free. And I have my checklist here of how many I want to do, but it's sporadic. I'll do it maybe one day and then the next day I won't. Then 3 days later, I'll do a whole bunch of them. I think it would be better if I just did a little bit, broke them off every morning. Shemaine, if you had to add 4 or 5 more things to your morning to make yourself more productive, in addition to your running, what else? What things would you add?
I think I would add 2. I would add reading and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What else?
That's
That was 1 thing. You said I'm going to add 3 things: meditation,
2. Meditation and reading.
editing, reading.
Yes.
That's 2. So meditation, reading. Can you give us 1 more?
Okay. Maybe affirmations.
Good. All right. Affirmations. I do those I do those a couple times a week. Just reminding. The biggest one that I say is I am in control.
Mm-hmm.
I am in control. In control. Sometimes I say I am Shemaine, but it doesn't work so well. Bobby, what? I know you talked about a few of those things, meditation and but what are 3, 4, 5 things you'd like to add to your morning routine? Did you hear me, Bobby?
Yeah. Why, yes. One thing, you told about the planting seeds of things. So, my issue most of the time was like coding. That's like I understand a lot, but explaining that, and that was a very tough part for me. And I was done this web development not only with the front end one web development course 2 years back. I enrolled, I did for some did that course, finished front end and left that course. Then I after that only I joined big diving, become busy, and other coding, Ruby, everything I started learning. And I was not even though I was following in the community what's going on in that they have a big coding community. And recently when the pandemic last April, May, they announced that they were getting a lot of question and answer voluntarily, whoever students whoever can answer that questions.
Mm-hmm.
They will give 3 prizes every month. They do it's money, not much, but they do 3 members, 2 volunteers, whoever gets more points, they get
Mm-hmm.
that money every month.
What
So
course is this? What website is this?
Which course? On Udemy, it's a web development bootcamp course.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was when I read that, when I was oh, I should give it a try. But I was oh my God, I can't explain what it is. If somebody asks questions, I'm not that much confident. And last month I said let me try. I started answering, and I was now I'm surprised. I know so many things, so many in the JavaScript I answer. And I participated last month, even though I didn't win that one, but I answered 30 questions last month. Yeah. And this month I'm targeting 50. So it's not now I'm not bothered about the prize. I'm I'm happy that I'm learning a lot by answering the questions, getting in-depth knowledge of subjects. That's really makes me happy.
That's fantastic. So you're planting those seeds, and you don't know when they're gonna come back and grow. And it blows my mind sometimes when I think about how many when these things come back and they grow. It's such a great feeling, because it makes you remember. It's oh my gosh, I'm glad I planted those seeds. So many people will say, oh, she's so lucky. She just got, some guy on Udemy just asked her to, to have a job. It's yeah, she's been answering hundreds and hundreds of questions, and somebody noticed that she is very knowledgeable. And it's a reminder to try to take, it's become part of me, and it's part of break diving. I just plant seeds every day. And even if I think, you'll know on Slack, I'll just say, hey, I just sent an email off to the CEO of this company. Hey, I sent off this press release. Hey, I did. They just come to me because I'm just thinking all the time, plant a seed. Plant a seed. The other analogy is just throw things against the wall, something will stick.
Yes.
Throw things against the wall, something is going to stick. And Shemaine, which analogy do you like better? The idea of planting seeds and knowing that one of them will grow, or the idea of throwing things against the wall and hoping and knowing that one day something will stick? Which do you like better?
I think I like both.
Both. Good.
Yeah.
The truth is, as I asked the question, I realized they're not exactly the same thing. The idea of planting seed. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think it's totally different. It's like one is just throwing the stone, kind of. Another thing, it's a step-by-step process. Planting seeds, you'll not realize from the beginning what you're doing, but as you grow slowly, steadily, it will have a big impact, slowly. But that when you have that impact, that time you realize, yes, these are all I came this stage because of all that small steps.
Yeah. The other part of that analogy of the planting seeds is remembering that there's no real return for planting the seed today. You get really nothing from planting the seed today. And with farming, you plant those seeds and it takes months before there's a harvest, before you can actually see, oh my gosh, there's some corn here. But you have to plant them long before you need them. That was the other part of that analogy is too many people. This is the same idea of why most people don't have enough money saved up in the bank. They want to spend the money now. You get your paycheck and I want to buy my fanciest apartment now and a fancy car. Yeah, well, that's really stupid. You know, unless you're paying for it in cash and you still have 6 months saved up in terms of seeds. I think of every dollar now as a seed, right? And if I put that dollar, is that dollar giving me back more than a dollar? Or is that dollar giving me 10 cents worth of value? And today I was at the Veterans Hospital and they have a PX there. It's like a shop and they have a bookstore area. And I just found these 2 books there. And one was a religious inspired book about daily, inspiration. And the other was just about, overcoming anxiety and worry. And I mean, those are all things that everybody could benefit for, but I just looked through them and said, wow, these seem like inspiring books. And the few minutes that I looked through them, I got a few inspiring quotes and I bought them. Why? Because I think altogether it came to about $22. I'm going to get probably $10,000 worth of value out of those $22 of seeds. And Shemaine, what is your input on this? Shemaine, you need to be a lot more confident because I know that you're very smart and I know you have a lot of insight and you have a lot of great perspective, but you don't tell us your insight and perspective. You want to keep it to yourself because you're selfish. Is that true?
No. I'm not selfish.
So inspire us with what are your thoughts on what we're saying here and how you can apply it to your life? We're not ending this meeting until you give us about 30 seconds of perspective.
At this point, I blank.
I'm sorry?
I'm blank. Don't have any perspective.
You're blank. Let me ask this question. Tell me some of the seeds that you're going to plant over the next 2 months before the end of the year that's going to make your 2021 potentially better.
I'm going to start writing on a book.
You're going to start writing a book?
Yes.
Good. Excellent. What else are you going to do?
Reading more about the stock market and finishing my course.
Good. Excellent. Learn more about the stock market investing. Great. And what's one more thing? What's one more seed you're going to plant?
Learn coding.
Good. So for learn coding, honestly, I think the best place to start is one of the many places, good place to start is w3schools.com. I've looked at a lot of them and I think it's a very great tutorial. You can sign up and it'll track your progress. Start with HTML, CSS, and then go to JavaScript. And it allows you to practice right there on the site and see how it works.
I
And
think
have you,
she's
maybe she's
learning
already
Python,
started?
right? Samin, you're learning Python?
Yes, I was learning that one, but I dropped it.
You dropped it.
Yes.
Okay, well, whatever you learn with Python will be useful for you later. My suggestion is go to w3schools.com, go to the HTML course and CSS courses, HTML course, and do that one first. Then do CSS, and then do JavaScript. And then from there, you can continue Python. You can do whatever. You may even be interested in doing the PHP course there as well, because I learned a lot about that, and that's a very useful language. Go,
The
Bobby.
learning process is like, especially with the stock market and all, just following some of the community, like keep on reading what others are saying, like no need to act, but completely day fight for 10 minutes, like what's going on. That itself gives a lot of knowledge or insights. When you start really acting, that helps a lot. Even with the coding, I would say, like, first find some community, like one of them, of course, with break diving. Same way, there are other communities where there will be a discussion. Just you don't need to participate. Like I've started that way. I'm just reading. First, I'll go and many months I'll be like reading, and then slowly I'll start, because I suddenly can't go and act, like, so I'll just read. I'll get a lot of knowledge through it, and then slowly I'll start acting. That's a good way to learn. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what I'm proposing, we'll finish up today's meeting, is that we finish the book, or at least get halfway through it. But I think we can finish it, and let's meet. When do we want to meet again for the part 2 of this Miracle Morning Book Club? In 2 weeks? In a month?
It's October 28th, right? Maybe November 20th, third week.
How about November 19th, a Thursday?
Sounds good.
Hey, Shemaine, does this time work for you again on November 19th?
It's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna add my calendar. I'll do it right. Actually, I'll do it right after we finish this meeting, and then you guys can. Actually, you know what? I'll just use the exact same event, and I'll just change the date, and you both will already be signed up for it.
Right.
And just add it to your calendar. So it'll be November 19th at 2:00 Eastern time. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you're welcome to become a part of our book club and our community. We have lots of events here on YouTube. And the people who attend are typically our members. Members of what? Of break diving. Instead of waiting for opportunities, we want you to dive in and make your own big breaks in life. We believe in the Break Divers creed of no rules, no excuses, no regrets. And we want you to live by that too. So please like this video, please subscribe, please share it with your friends. And most importantly, please join our community. Submit an application. We would love to meet you. So everybody wave goodbye, and then I'll stop the video. Bye.